Entrepreneur world versus the corporate world. Well, I'll say I've had experience of being in the corporate world for over 18 years, and I've now been on my own for 15, becoming an entrepreneur. Yes, when the day they let me go, I did put out to the universe, telling a few ladies at the corporate job that I wanted to be on my own. I had a couple side gigs, and after they let me go, I had now more time to then focus on my business to help keep it growing, which was at the time I was involved in a network marketing company, doing some home-based businesses and going to host candle parties, which I had been doing at the time almost 5 years. But now that I had more time to dedicate to it, I then earned myself a free trip. Yes, but let's just say nobody gave us, or gave me, especially myself, a roadmap on how to become an entrepreneur. There are a lot of things we don't even know about. And I'll say it definitely takes a different mindset in becoming an entrepreneur. Often I'll say, if you work at a facility and people just walk in the door, at the end, they're just walking in to say, hey, I want your services. There's kind of a part that's missing when we do the entrepreneur world. And I'll say that next step is building those connections and building that know, like, and trust. Because, when we go to a restaurant, in a sense, we're just walking in and we kind of know we're going to get something. But when we're out marketing it for ourselves, let's just say it's a different mindset, and sometimes we miss that a piece that we didn't even know or think about. And that is taking the time to follow up and build those relationships. I know it takes time, but it's very important to build a know, like, and trust. Like, I don't want to expect people to refer me business. They don't even know what I do, and vice versa. But there is a certain mindset, because in the corporate world, being that somebody tells us what to do all day, we have some sense of some structure and letting us know where we're at and what's going well or not going well to some degree. But somebody's telling us to do all day. We know what time we have to be there. We know what time we have to leave and what needs to get accomplished in that daily time. But once we become an entrepreneur, it's like, oh, now what do I do? There's nobody really telling us what to do, and maybe sense how to really communicate with the outside world and who we are and what we offer. When you agree to that, now, I did not know these things, but I know it's kind of like steps of things that had to be taken. Not always easy, and not always knowing who to trust. But I am grateful, to trust myself where I was at the time and listen to somebody at a networking event about 3 weeks after I got let go, and he says, why don't you brand yourself? I don't know what the heck that means, but I was willing to sit down with him and have coffee. I didn't know even though that was the next step. I could have said, nah, don't want to do that. But I'm very grateful to listen to this guy, Norman, which wasn't even his business. And he gave me his time and supported me and created my first business called Gift Problem Solver. So that was the first step. Going to an event is one thing, but if I didn't sit down with him, I wouldn't have never known how to do any of that stuff. Again, my parents aren't entrepreneurs. I came from parents who are teachers. So some of us may have entrepreneurs as parents, but don't always know they even know what they're doing. They start off and sometimes they're just doing their own thing in their own world, doing the best they can. But like me, being a leadership coach, I would say that the universe did bring me a coach, and I'm very grateful to making myself my number one priority and my own human potential to get out of my own way. I don't know all these other things. There's a sense of being confused and lack of clarity, who's right, who's wrong, and what do I believe and who do I believe, etc. But often we don't really know how to communicate, ask questions. Often we're talking at people, really not asking people what they're looking for, and really identifying who an ideal client is. Who's an ideal client? Again, we have these other parts in our business that sometimes we don't really sit back, and sometimes our strategy isn't the best. And I trust there's always room for improvement. So when you become an entrepreneur, it's a whole new mindset. In a sense, you got to be more open, more willing. Otherwise, we're not going to grow. If we sit at a corporate job all day, we don't have to do all that stuff. We just got to be willing to listen to the boss. But there is a sense when it comes to being our own. I want to be my own. I have to be my own ideal client. I'm positive, optimistic, really open, willing. And so to identify those people, I want to look for those kind of people as well. So really taking the time to identify our ideal clients so we don't waste more time on the wrong people, really identifying what their needs are, their challenges are, how soon they want something. These are some questions that we may want to ask, and identifying, not always knowing our own value and what's valuable to us and if it's valuable to other people. So again, these are some things we don't think about or even know about when becoming an entrepreneur. Again, nobody gave us a roadmap, know whether that roadmap's right or wrong, but having that guidance, I trust, could be of some value. Well, if it is for you, great. But then, if you're an entrepreneur, you've been once in the corporate world, it kind of can contrast the difference. But if you are somebody who wishes to have a better strategy, then love to connect. So what are your thoughts about the mindset of an entrepreneur versus the mindset of a corporate employee? Have you been there? What's your thoughts? Love to hear your feedback. Share some comments, share this video, and see you on the next video.